Hey, what's going on, guys? And happy Saturday. So, this evening, we're going to be talking about, are you an employee or are you an entrepreneur? Let's jump right into this. So, what does it mean to be an employee? Well, the truth is, I've been both. I've been the employee that was late for work every day. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'll be late. To be honest with you, I don't even know how I held on to a job because, uh, yeah, and the weird thing about it, I worked there for about 11 years. So I worked at Penn Medicine, in a rehab, and I worked there. I worked at Penn, and then I worked over. Then I went over to. They transferred over to this other organization called Good Shepherd. So I went over there, and they partnered together. But there was the same under the same branch or whatever. So anyway, yeah, I worked there for years, um, and I was always late. Yeah, I was always late. I would be so late. Sometimes I would be coming in, 10, 15 minutes, sometimes a half an hour. And most times I was coming from doing something else or, working on something else, or whatever, right? And what I started slowly realizing was I'm not an employee. And how do you know? Like, how do you know when you're not meant to be an employee? Well, here's how you know. If you're okay with being on time, going to work and just going day in and day out, worrying whether you're going to hold on to your job every day, or if someone's going to, get you in trouble or you get fired. If you're okay with that, if you're okay with working somewhere, and kind of fulfilling someone else's dream, if you're okay with that, if you're just, hey, listen, I'm here for the check, I'm here to get the bread, cool, then that's for you. If you're okay with, just being you, right? Like just being able to go into work and talk and chill and chit chat with whoever and yeah, that's pretty much it. You got your insurance, you got your 401k. You could take time off. As long as you're okay with that, then you're prepared to be an employee. Now, let me tell you about the downside of being an employee. You are worried about your job every day. Now, I was worried about my job for 11 years, so I had a high anxiety, and I worked around taking care of people. I've had patients that died. I've had patients that were sick and had cancer. And because of just being around over the years and just having, you know, um, being empathetic and having that emotional exhaustion, one day I quit. Yeah, I quit. And, it was weird because the way it went was I was supposed to take this, I guess, some type of hepatitis shot or something I had to do. And, it was during this period where they were trying to get rid of people. And, you know, I was, I've been there for so long. They gave me an opportunity to work to be a manager at night. I was just like, I didn't want to do that. And so, after a while, they're just like, okay, well, we're going to kind of squeeze you out. So it was always going to be, you had so many mistakes to make before it was time to let you go. And so, I was on my last write up, and the manager at the time told me, she was like, well, you have two choices. You take this and make sure it's done by Monday, but if it's not done by Monday, uh, we're going to have to terminate you. And I thought to myself, I was like, self, is this what you really want to do? Right? Do you really want to actually like pursue making other people happy for the rest of your life? Being on edge, worrying about where your next amount of money is going to come from? And I just couldn't do it. The day came and I prayed. And when it was time, I wrote my resignation letter. And when I wrote it, a peace just came over me. I felt so good. Now, let me tell you, thank God I quit my job, right? Now, this is not for everyone, so don't go out and quit your job and then be like, oh my God, I'm blaming you because now we're on the streets. Don't do that. But I'm telling you just my experience. The reason why I say thank God is because after I left, I found out I had like high blood pressure and just all types of stuff wrong with me. And I knew, I just felt in my bones, I feel like I'm dying, right? Like I feel like the death coming on, like the little bit of, I felt that, right? And I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? It's just time. I prayed. I felt a calmness come over me. This is it. And right when it happened, it's so weird what happened, because when I left, a lot of people lost their jobs. The lady who was trying to get rid of me, she lost her job the very next day. It was just so crazy how all of this happened all at once. And so afterwards, I left my job, but I went to the doctor. She was like, hey, you have high blood pressure. You have to work on this and work on that. I started focusing on my health more. And then I realized, like, you know what, man, it's just been like, it's been, so long since I focused on me. I went to the dentist, found out I had like all these cavities I had to get filled. Like, I was just like jacked up, right? And I was so focused on just making people happy, making my relationships happy. And I realized in that moment, I'm not meant to be an employee. Yep, that hit me really hard, because I have my own internal struggles of being able to take care of myself. Now, maybe if I didn't struggle with that, if I didn't struggle with being compassionate and empathetic and caring about people so much, I probably would be fine working and, doing what I need to do. But it's very hard when you're doing that, and you also have a dream. You have a goal that you're trying to achieve. So what's the difference between being an employee mindset, and entrepreneurial mindset? So, because when I was working, I was doing both. I was running a business or working on running a business simultaneously while working on being an employee. So I was exhausted. I would literally be working at night, and now as soon as I would get off of work, I had to go and work on the business side of everything. So I'm literally working like pretty much all day until like 12, and then by the time I was done, I went home and went to sleep. I don't know how many times after getting off of work I fell asleep on a bunch of old ladies and whole dudes, and they just let me sleep on them because I was just that exhausted. I believe I drooled on them too. It was rough. But what is it about being an entrepreneur that's different from being an employee? Well, one, it's harder. Just period. It's harder. It's rewarding, but it's harder. And this is what people don't tell you, right? They love to tell you like, ooh, you know what you could do? You should start a business, and all you got to do is get an LLC. And once you get an LLC, all you have to do is just go out there and start telling people about your business. Is that true? No. Because now you have to get an LLC, then you have to get a trademark. Now, if you get a trademark, then you have to put your business in a trust, so that way no one actually when they go to sue the business, right, then you don't get sued, right? So these are all the things that people don't tell you. And it's way more than this. The other part of it is that you have to be everybody, like everybody, for it to work. And at least until you can hire people to do certain parts, but you have to know the ins and outs of how your business works. And so once you understand that, and you have to be self-motivated, you have to be the person that gets up in the morning and focus on what you got to do. You have to be the person that you have to work out. Like, working out is not an option because you have that level of anxiety that if you don't work out, you will explode. Hoping this will make you excited about running a business. But you have to work out. You have to take care of yourself. And these are things that is hitting me. The part of helping people, easy for me. I love doing that. The part taking care of me, that part right there, is struggle. It still is. And I think it's going to be an ongoing struggle. But I also understand that it's also going to be helping people motivates me to help myself. So what is the difference and the beauty of being an entrepreneur versus an employee? I will tell you. Being an entrepreneur, you get to choose your days. You get to choose, your schedule and how you want things to flow. You get to be in charge of your life. You're not, you have to organize things, but for the most part, you get to structure things so it can actually grow on your own accord. Being an employee is great. If you're trying to work and you got to do what you got to do, you got a family, I would tell anybody, do what you got to do. But I will also tell you that if you have a vision, if you have a dream out that you want to achieve, or a goal you want to achieve, or whatever you want to do in life, it doesn't have to be, you might want to go back to school and learn this and learn that and then start a business. That's cool. But whenever you go to do it, just remember this conversation. And remember that you can do it. You can do it. It's not impossible. It's not too much. You can do it. If you want to be the next whoever, you can do it. But the thing you have to remember is this. Are you okay with investing in yourself? Are you serious about actually being the version of yourself that you're meant to be? Because the truth is, you got two choices. You can either live your dream or you can support someone else's. So I hope this was helpful. Again, I love you guys. I appreciate all the support and the love. Comment, follow, all that stuff. I'm not I don't feel like a, social media guru, but, go ahead, follow, comment, save this and share it with people you feel like it resonate with. Again, I love you guys. I appreciate all the support, and I will see you on the next episode. Peace.